Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Take Your Mark podcast. I'm your host, Emmy.
And I'm Ruchi, as always.
And this is now officially episode 1 of season 2, because last one was that was the prologue. Now we're in it for realsies this time. So.
Oh, yeah.
As we usually do, I mean, we just recorded the prologue, so we've kind of already been chatting. But, like, how's your weekend been? What are your plans? What have you done? Go for it.
I have done nothing. Well, okay.
Love to see
I say
it.
I've done nothing. I've done something. I have rotted on my couch for hours. But besides that, I have actually done stuff. I put the dishes in this morning.
Solid.
Exciting. This past week, one of the people I interned with at my previous company where I had interned in the summer, I met up with him because he was in town, so that was fun. I got to see him. It had been a year, so I hadn't seen him, so that was fun. And then also on Thursday, we had a work event at a brewery, which we had it last time too. I think I mentioned it in one of our other episodes in season 1, but this time there was no trivia, but it was still fun.
Okay.
So I had those things. Yesterday I just rotted. Today I'm going to a comedy show tonight.
Fun.
So yeah, that'll be a first time for me. I've been to a comedy show in the UK because I went when I was in London on my trip, but that was my first comedy show ever. So this will be number 2.
Is it a comedian that you know, or is it just like random person, or is it open mic night? Like, what's the format?
It's this comedian who I don't know them, but
What's their name?
the friends that I'm going with know them. I think it's like Josh Johnson or something like that. Hold on. I might have to look them up.
I don't think I've heard of them. There's a couple comedians that I really like.
It's Josh Johnson.
Okay.
Yes, Josh Johnson.
There's a couple comedians I really like that I really want to come here, and none of them are, but they're all going there in the next couple months.
Who?
I'm so sad. Oh gosh, now I'm blanking which ones are actually going there. I've been like looking through a bunch of their schedules. I'll text you later if I remember who it is.
Okay. I was going to say, like, I feel like no comedian comes here, so I don't know what you're talking about. But
no, there's a fair amount of them who go there. There's actually a fair amount of people who come here. There's a really big comedy scene here. It's just like not right now.
fair.
But
yeah, so
know.
I'm doing that today. And then tomorrow I'm going to the pool to swim, which I believe I said in the prologue, but I'll say it again. Going to the pool to swim. Woo! Outside. Long course. Little practice. That'll be fun. And then I think that's it for the weekend, and then back to the work grind, you know? Corporate. It kills you.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm sure you understand now that you're a working woman.
Yeah, I unfortunately already worked like 50 hours this week, and it's week 2. So we're going to try and make that better next week. But I don't know, it was still a pretty good week. Like I said, I went out with my coworkers last night to like 2 of the local bars that I've really been wanting to check out. One of them was great. We were just chatting with the bartender like until they closed, and we got like free tiramisu at the end of the night. And also then some other guy bought us lemon drop shots, so like that was fun too. So yeah, that was a good time. It was just like, it was in a basement too, so you open the door and like it looks like there should not be a bar down there, and then you go down the stairs and there's like this super cute like bar and pizza place. So that was fun.
Cute.
And also just like getting to know my coworkers better. It's a good time. And then today, dropped my roommate off at the airport this morning. She's doing some traveling. And then I think after this I'm gonna take a nap. Honestly, I'm exhausted. Depending on the weather, might go for a run today, might just go for a walk. And then tomorrow, got run club, gonna get coffee with some friends. I think I'm gonna go climbing. And then I've got to do some sort of like meal prepping for the week because, yeah, corporate grind. And they usually have culinary so that I can just buy food at work for like pretty cheap, but they're not working. They're like doing other stuff next week, so we have to bring our own food. Sad, but oh well.
Forces you to make your own food, I guess.
Yeah. But they actually make really good food is the problem. I had a fish sandwich last week that was like, I'm still thinking about it. It was so good.
Oh God.
It was so good. Yeah. And it was like $4 because they sell it to us for really cheap. So yeah.
Wow. You've made it.
Yeah. I mean, like, at what cost? But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. 50-hour weeks. Wow. Yeah. No.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it
No.
shouldn't be like that all the time. I was just like, with upcoming stuff, I just wanted to get like a better head start on training and kind of get organized. So like Wednesday was an 11-hour day, which was not fun. But there's goats that live right outside my office, so at least I get to like watch them and stuff. That's always a good time.
That does not justify 50-hour week.
No, it does not. But
that does not
but
make it
there's
any
goats.
better, but it's okay. Go off, queen.
I tell myself that it makes it better. Our first actual topic of season 2 is something that I feel like we've kind of mentioned a little bit, just in terms of just talking about fitness. It comes up a lot. We're talking tracking. How do you track your fitness? What kind of stuff do you track? All that sort of stuff. I'm actually not wearing my watch right now, so whoops.
I have shown I am wearing my watch because I have a horrendous tan line, so it blocks that.
I finally got rid of mine. Well, it's there a little bit, but it's gone for the most part. But I mean, I guess
this is kind of a tangent, but I low key love having a watch tan. But anyway,
see, I liked having one until I was at a wedding.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then it was
it wasn't as cute.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that kind of already answered the first question, but how do you track stuff? How do you track stuff? What do you track? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so I guess my primary form of tracking is my Apple Watch. This Apple Watch is like an Apple Watch SE. It's from 5 or 6 years ago, so it's a pretty old version, but it works in the pool. So I track obviously the basic stuff, heart rate, yardage. What else comes with that?
Steps.
Okay,
minutes exercise.
Yeah, but
all that
I meant
stuff.
for swimming.
Oh,
for swimming,
swim.
Besides heart rate and yardage, I mean the watch will also classify what things are. So if it'll recognize, oh, you're doing kicking and put kick. So it'll also define the yardage based off of that, which it's usually not very, very accurate. So I don't track that part as much, but more so just the total yardage and the heart rate. For swimming, that's pretty much it, actually, that I really look at. It also tells you, the times per each 100 yards or 100 meters, which is nice. So you can see, how much time you took and your average across all the hundreds. So it'll say, you did this many yards in an average of 130 per 100, which is fast. And that's usually, for an endurance day, free endurance day, it'll be that kind of time. But that's pretty much it for swimming that I track. For on a daily basis, I mean, there's obviously heart rate again, but also steps, like you said, Emmy, steps. I think that's honestly it for me. I mean, obviously the Apple Watch also tracks exercise minutes and stand hours, but that stuff is always, I feel not as important. To me, at least, it's not as important, so I don't really look at it. I'm mostly looking at steps, heart rate, and then each of my swims, how many yards it was and how fast it was.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it for me. Your routine is slightly different currently. So if you want to talk about how you track, I mean, you got different things going on.
Yeah. So I also use an Apple Watch. I had one, and then I smashed it on the pool deck, and then I like didn't wear one for a year. And then when I started like running again, I wanted to be able to see like distance more easily. So I got my mom's old one. So I also have a pretty old one, which actually does not work great. Like a lot of times you have to press the screen like 2 or 3 times to get it to register what you're trying to do. But I think pretty similarly, like I mostly use it for tracking workouts. I'm trying not to be in the habit of like, I think a while ago it was, when you wear the watch every day and it's like, ugh, if I'm not wearing my watch, then the workout didn't count. Like I'm trying to not get back into that mindset because it's like, no, you still did the workout. But it is also like, it's motivating when you get to like wear your watch for it, and then you get the little rewards about like, you did a 5K today and like all that kind of stuff. So yeah, within like an actual workout, especially for running, I mentioned this briefly in the prologue, but like I've noticed my heart rate is very sensitive to how hot out it is. So I've been trying to track that a bit better. Because you know how people say like, oh, most of your run should be in zone 2. I'm lucky if I can get down to zone 3. So I've just been trying to be like more cognizant of that. And I'm like, if I have to stop and walk until my heart rate comes back down, fine. Like I can keep track of my pace, but like I'm really not running for pace right now. I'm running for like heart rate, getting myself like better at running long term and not hating it. And then in terms of more like the broader level of tracking workouts, I realized that when you go into like the Apple Watch app and you go to sessions, you can like, it shows you, all of your workouts for the month, but you can also filter it by like workout type. I had just never looked into the app that closely. This isn't like some giant revelation.
I knew that.
Yeah, I just hadn't looked because I hadn't worn it for a while, and prior to that I mostly used it for swim. But you can also like, when you click onto the different types of workouts, you can see like, okay, here's like the average mileage that you have for a run, or like your average yardage per swim workout or whatever. I haven't really swam with it at all recently. But that's been interesting too, just for like kind of consistency's sake and seeing more of like long-term progress over time, which is kind of nice. Is like, oh, is my monthly mileage gone up with my running? How has my pace changed? Like, is it getting faster at all? Is it about the same? It's been about the same. It hasn't actually changed that yet. But yeah, and then on a more like outside of workouts kind of thing, similar to you, tracking steps. I do try and get 10,000 steps a day. It's harder at work. But also I work at a very large place. And so, and my building that I work in is at the very edge. So to get anywhere else, like I do actually have to walk pretty far. So that's been nice, kind of. But yeah, I think those are the main things I track. Heart rate is like the big one for me right now that I'm really trying to like look at. 'Cause also that one's nice because it feels a little bit more out of my control in some ways. 'Cause like, I think my hesitance with tracking, I don't know if this is another question that we have, but my hesitance with tracking sometimes in the past has been like, I don't want to get fixated on it kind of thing, and I feel like in terms, fixated in the sense of like, oh, I have to run every day. Like I have to keep this streak going and stuff. Whereas heart rate is just like, it's just information feedback. It's not actually something that I can control. So I can work to make it better. But like, I don't know. To me, it feels different. It's just data, which I like better than other forms. I don't think I'm making a lot of sense here, but do you understand kind of what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I wouldn't say so. This is where I would say our personalities are quite different, and we've talked about this before. But like how you were saying that you get more obsessive, and like you said, like for you, it's not necessarily motivating. It's more of like something that will push you too hard. For me, it's like I'm such a lazy person that for me, I need some sort of external motivation to get me there. So for me, a lot of times that was the watch, especially like in the beginning of college. It was like I wanted to hit my rings every day. I wanted to, get a swim workout in every day and see the stats of it. So for me, having a watch has definitely been more of a motivating factor in a good way. And so that's why I feel like I'm more somebody who's focused on the numbers. So am more data driven, but I never really take it too seriously, and maybe that's why it's okay. I feel like if I did take it really seriously, then it would potentially be something where I'd push myself too hard, probably leading to injury or even just like general mental health issues. But yeah.
I'm curious. So like you said, it's motivating. What do you feel like? Because I think for me, when I get too into tracking stuff, like I said, if I'm like, oh, I'm gonna, here's my plan for, I'm gonna go run every day this week, and then if the run doesn't go how I want, and then like say I miss a day, and it's like, oh, I broke the streak, and like tracking it is like what made me kind of realize that like, oh, I'm not doing what I said I was gonna do. There's like a lot of guilt that comes with that for me, which I've tried to like move away from feeling, because it's like it's not worth guilt. I'm curious if that is part of the motivation for you or not really.
For me, I think it's like I said, I'm just lazy. So a lot of times I would, even if I'm not burnt out, I'm like, I don't feel like working out, whatever. Like and it might be like every single day, right? We were talking about burnout and things like that. For me, sometimes it's not even burnout. It's just a lack of motivation in general. Like we talked about it. What motivates me to go when it's like that is knowing that I'll feel my ring on my watch. Because it's almost like that little push when I don't feel like doing anything. It's like, hey, if you do it, it'll go on your watch. And you can say that you did a workout today. And everyone can see it. I mean, you see my workouts. My parents see my workouts. So I'm like, if I do something and I track it on my watch, my parents will see it. I will feel good about it. So it's almost like that little bit of external motivation to get me out of the door. Once I get to the pool or get to the gym or whatever, I'm the kind of person who will follow through. But to get me to go there, I need like some sort of external motivation. And when I was in high school and stuff, it was my parents. Like they would always be like, if you want to be a good swimmer, you got to go to practice. And they'd be up at 4 or 5 or whenever to take me there. But now, we talked about this too, is like, you don't have that kind of person guiding you. It's just you. So then for me, I feel like my watch has provided me that little bit of external, like you need to go. You need to go and get yards in. And that way, like, it just provides that little bit of push to get there. So.
Is that why you started tracking in the first place? Or is that kind of something you've noticed over time? Like, was there a reason you decided, like, I want to track my workouts? Or was it, like, you got an Apple Watch and it's like, oh, this is a cool feature. And then you've kind of noticed that, like, effect on yourself over time?
I got this back in high school. It's been like 5 or 6 years. So to answer your question, I guess I would say that because I was swimming in high school. So I think what I wanted to do was track the swims that I had and see how many calories I was burning, because it was not about eating. It was not about eating like less than what I was eating then. It was about eating enough. Because I would see my calories and I'd be like, well, hold on a second. I'm burning 1,000 calories a day. That needs to go into food. I need this much food to maintain, where I'm at. So it was more about maintenance than anything when I first started. But then it became more of it fluctuated, because like at the beginning I wanted to maintain, and then I got to college, had terrible food all of freshman year, and gained weight.
Shout out dining halls.
Yeah, shout out dining halls, shout out colleges. But basically, yeah, so I had terrible food and I gained like 15, 20 pounds, something like that. It was a lot for just 1 year. And I remember thinking, okay, well, now I can use this more as like a guidance for, and not that year, the next year when I could actually meal prep and make my own food. I was like, now I can use this more as a guidance of, okay, if I know how many calories and I know what I'm burning, then I know how to hit less than what because I didn't want to maintain. I wanted to lose weight. So the goal was down here. And then when it came around again, I think there came around a time again more recently where I was like, okay, well now I want to bulk a little bit. So then the goal went up. So it just kind of fluctuates. And for me, that like this obviously, you track heart rate and things of that nature. You can also track your diets, your sleep, all these other things you can track. So I don't really track sleep. I mean, I make sure I get 8 hours, but there's no like heart rate tracking or REM sleep tracking or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it gets pretty advanced, which is something I've never tried before. But maybe soon. But in terms of diet, it was very much for me always a combination of diet tracking and workout tracking, because then I knew how much I had to eat. So it was always...
Gotcha.
I think I lost the first question that you asked me. So basically, I got the Apple Watch in high school for tracking and making sure I was hitting the right calories that I needed to be eating. And then after that, it's just stayed as kind of a guide for that balance.
Okay.
Yeah. But I know you've had a very different experience. So if you want to touch on that too, like why have you started tracking again now? Because I know you were tracking before and then you stopped and now you're tracking again.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I originally, like, I didn't have any specific like goal or motivation getting the Apple Watch at first. It was kind of just like, oh, everyone has Apple Watches now and like they track stuff. And it was cool to be able to like track my swim workouts and stuff. That was probably most of what I used it for at first. And then I think, like you said, getting to college and having more of that kind of like the onus of working out is on you. That's when I started to kind of dislike it more, because I felt like I had to be able to track it. I have to like, it has these goals for me to meet. And if I don't meet them, like, what am I doing wrong? And not in a productive way of like, okay, here's some healthy changes I can make. It just like made me feel bad. And especially like the fact that you can share your activity with other people kind of became a thing of like doing like, you had like those move ring challenges that I did with like my mom and my sister a couple times, and I would always lose. But like, who cares? But it made me feel bad. So like I kept having a watch though, because it was convenient for like a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think I slowly like kind of got better about that. Like I didn't put nearly as much moral weight on whether I closed my rings or not. But it still did kind of suck when like you'd get that notification from your phone being like, here's your weekly summary. You closed your rings 0 times. Try and move more this week. And I'm like, dude, I'm busy. Like I'm in the library all day. Like, what do you want from me?
Apparently they want you to close your rings every day in the week. Come
on. And then I actually completely by accident stopped wearing a watch because I smashed it on the pool deck. And
then
I was trying to be good and
Did you notice? Well, I'll actually finish that and then I'll ask my question.
I was just saying I was trying to put sunscreen on and I tried to put it down and it fell off onto the concrete. There was nothing useful in that. What's up?
Well, I was gonna say, did you notice like an immediate change in how you felt when the watch was smashed? Like after the watch was smashed and you didn't have a watch, did you notice kind of a change in vibe?
So yes and no. That summer was really weird as a whole because I wouldn't like a big part of the reason I didn't replace the watch immediately anyways was because I knew like I wouldn't be able to wear my watch at work. There are very strict rules about like bringing electronics in where I was working. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to wear it anyways. So I was kind of like, like let me just see what it's like without it because I was like I don't feel like spending the money on a new one right now anyways. Um and there definitely was like a bit of a shift in the sense of like from the practical perspective, being able to track your workouts is useful. Like you don't have to remember exactly how far you've gone. For swimming or running, like you can see what pace you're at and say, oh hey, like this is a lot faster than I usually go. Maybe I should slow down so I can be a little bit more like I can keep going for longer kind of thing. So that was an adjustment, but also like it was kind of fine. It was one of those things that I got used to pretty quickly, and like especially I was usually running with my mom, so like she would track the distance. I'd just kind of follow along with what she was doing. If I wanted to go swim, I'd kind of come up with like a workout ahead of time, and then I would keep it in my head, and like I'd know how far I was planning to go. Intervals were tough.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably the hardest
was,
part without a watch.
Yeah, intervals were tough. Like I had a non-smart watch. It was literally just like an analog, like you could hear the second hand ticking around, and I'd like put that on my water bottle so I'd be able to see like when it reached the top, but that was about all I could do. And then honestly, the bigger difference, and this is something that I would be interested in kind of exploring later in the season if it's something we want to try, is like not getting notifications. Because I got so used to my watch buzzing, and I know you can turn that off. Like I have it turned off on my one now, but it was weird to be like more disconnected from that. And like I mean, I didn't have my phone for large portions of the day, but I also just checked my phone way less. That was a bit of a tangent. Anyways, reason I've gotten back to tracking it now is because I was running alone, and so I wanted to be able to track my like the distance I was going easier and stuff. And again, I was also curious about the heart rate. And like I said, I think just now it's a much more like I've detached myself from feeling like I have to close my rings every day. Half the time I don't even wear the watch all day. I just wear it to work out and then I take it off again. And I think that's better than having it like all day, every day. It's tracking everything you do. So if you don't do enough, the watch knows. Like right now, if I don't get all my stand hours in or whatever, like, okay, I wasn't wearing it all day. Who cares?
I get it. Yeah, I think it's just a difference in perspective. I think some people, it's like extremely beneficial to have it on all the time because it motivates you or even just like helps you. But other people, it's something that turns out to be a much more like harmful thing. So
yeah,
it really,
and
this is always the answer. It really just depends on you. That's always the answer. It just depends.
Yeah. And I have been wearing it more. Like, at first, I really was just wearing it, like, put it on for the workout, take it off. I'm wearing it more now because, like, it is kind of helpful. You know, like, if I've been sitting at my desk for 3 hours and I haven't gotten up, it is kind of nice to have that reminder to just, like, take a lap real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that is beneficial. Again, turning off the notifications was a big one because also now it's not like I have the information, but it's not yelling at me about it.
We touched on like why we track, what we track. Besides what we've talked about when it comes to sort of associating value with tracking, what other sort of drawbacks or like negatives would you say there are with tracking, and is there a way around them or some other way to approach it? That might be a hard
I'm trying
question.
to think of, like, if there are other negatives, at least that I don't know if there are other negatives that at least like I've experienced. I think the main one is just like relying too much on tracking that it actually starts impacting your fitness in a bad way. Because like you said, I think
Yeah.
for like what you've said about your experience, you know, tracking motivates you to get out there and like keeps you helps keep you on a schedule. Whereas like on the flip side, if you like if tracking is like the thing that kind of reminds you like I don't know exactly how to word it, but if I guess yeah, just if tracking brings you guilt around like, oh, I missed a workout, especially if it's just
Yeah.
one workout, I promise you're okay. You know, like we've talked a lot about like burnout, motivation, and like yeah, you shouldn't skip it for no reason, but like it happens. You know what? And if it does, like there's no sense in like getting really down on yourself about that because that's not
Yeah.
productive. And like
Agreed.
if like
Agreed.
the fact that you're tracking your workouts that religiously, or like I said, if your watch dies and it's something like, oh, this workout doesn't count anymore, I feel like that's when it can be like, okay, maybe, and maybe, like you said, it's personal. For me, that's when I'm like, okay, this is impacting my relationship with fitness too much. Like it should be a useful tool. It should be good data. It can be motivation. As soon as it becomes something that is like guilt inducing, I'm like,
Yeah.
no. I
Yeah.
think that's why I've been hesitant too to try out new stuff in some ways because like um especially I think when I get excited about tracking stuff, it's easy to kind of overcommit. And then when you fail, it's like feels like failure even though it's not. Like it's fine. Um
Yeah. Yeah.
but even like sharing on Strava, I'm like I don't want to share on here because then what if I don't share everything and then people think I'm not doing enough? But it's like who cares? Like
Who cares? Yeah. No one
yeah.
cares. I mean, no one
Yeah.
cares. So, except yourself. You're the only
And
person
I
who
shouldn't,
cares.
but oh well.
So,
I don't know. Do you have any
yeah.
positives or negatives about tracking other than what you've anything else?
I will say that sometimes for me, it's a little hard to trust some of those stats just cuz this thing on my wrist, like how does it know that I'm doing kick versus doing freestyle? You know, like
Yeah.
certain things like that kind of stuff kind of is a little bit sketchy to me, which is why I don't really trust the breakdowns in there and same with the breakdowns cuz now the watches have gotten so sophisticated to the point where it tells you when you took a break on the wall. So it's like you did 2 laps and you took a break and this is how long your break was and then you did 4 more laps or whatever. And it tells you even like what strokes those laps were. That kind of stuff I feel like is super hard to trust for me, like, and I mean a lot of it is wrong too still, so maybe they're all it's all in pilot stages, but that kind of stuff I feel like is super, it's just super like if you're tracking, that's like an extreme I feel like version of tracking. If you're tracking it down to the lap and the times, I think that's something Olympians would do. I would not do that. I don't really care if I went 30 on a 50 fly. Like, come on. It doesn't matter. But I think some of that stuff, like you said, can be harmful but also beneficial. Like for Olympians, I'm sure when they're doing pace work, they want to be able to see, hey, I'm hitting this
Yeah.
pace.
Oh yeah, it's
So
context
having that kind
dependent.
of system built into the watch would be great. But yeah, I mean, for the average person, I think when you hit that kind of extreme level, that's when it starts to get like a little bit concerning and questionable. Yeah. Besides that drawback, I don't know, you know. I feel like I said, I just think the app accuracies for me are still kind of hard to believe.
Yeah.
Same with the
Well,
calories.
especially, I
Like,
mean,
how does it know exactly how many calories I'm burning?
exactly. Yeah, like it's some calculation with like whatever weight you input and how your heart rate is and stuff like
Right.
that. But even the heart rate measurement is not that
Yeah.
accurate. Like I know you can get a pulse from a wrist, but if you actually want like
A
a
good pulse. You
good
want it from your
heart rate,
neck.
you want like the chest band
Oh, do
thing or like
you?
yeah, your neck.
Yeah, okay.
Well, for like working out, they make those bands that like
Yeah.
go around your
Mhm.
chest. And those are like a lot more accurate and stuff. Even like it can measure like the dissolved oxygen in your blood measure.
How? See,
Um,
these are the kinds of things
it's
where I'm like,
supposed to
how the
be
heck does your watch even know any of that stuff? Which is why, like,
yeah.
you have
Well,
to
it's
take it. You
also
have to almost take
um,
it, like, with a grain of salt. Like, you have a general idea from it, but don't take it so literally.
exactly. Yeah, well, cuz with the dissolved oxygen thing, sometimes it'll tell me that mine is like 92. I would be in the hospital probably if I was at 92. It should be 100. Like
Oh, my God.
anything below 95 is like kind of concerning. And I was like, dude, I'm fine. Like it is not 92. um so
Yeah,
yeah,
same with
definitely take it with a
some
grain
of
of
the heart
salt.
rate stuff, too. Sometimes it's off, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. That is something I'm interested in. Like I said, I was scared about trying new things. I do kind of want to, like, I think the next watch that I get, because this one's kind of on its last legs, it's not going to last that much longer. Um, I kind of want to look into getting one of the, like, Garmin or Iron Man ones.
mm-hmm.
Um, just because I mean, they're more specifically designed for working out rather than being like a smartwatch that also has fitness tracking.
Yeah.
Um, and I've heard, especially like, I mean, I feel like I'm like kind of habitually into running now. Like I've kind of actually built that habit. And if I can keep up with it, like, I mean, Garmin's are just much more designed for runners.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not
so I
very
would
good
be
for
interested
swimming,
in
though. I
trying
can tell
that
you
out.
that much.
They have different ones now, though. Like there are some triathlon specific ones that I've heard are pretty
Oh,
good.
okay.
But I don't know. Like I would definitely need to do a lot of research into it and see. But I mean, if I do end up getting one, I will report back and we can
Yeah.
compare. There are some other like kind of more niche tracking things I've been wanting to try. Like there's this app that tracks like how far you walk or run, and it keeps track of that on a scale of like your journey across Middle Earth, like if you were in Lord of the Rings.
Oh. That's such a you thing. Oh, my
I
God. You would
know
love that.
it would be so cool. I downloaded it and I was like so ready to do it, and then I found out you have to pay for it.
Oof.
So then I deleted it. But there's stuff like that where I'm kind of like, okay, that's like a fun and different kind of motivating tracking sort of thing where it's like there's a goal to it, but it's a completely like what's the word I'm looking for? Inconsequential goal.
Yeah.
Like there is, and so it's I feel like that can be that could be fun. I don't know, maybe I'll look around and see if there's anything else like this. There's a Strava group that is like Run to Jupiter by 2040.
Oh, wow.
Which is 750 million miles. No one's doing that. You would
Oh,
have to,
dear
if you
God.
started now,
Yeah.
you'd have to run 50 million miles a year. Like it's not
Jeez.
happening.
Yeah.
But stuff like that where it's kind of like a silly thing to work towards, I think that can be fun. So
Yeah.
maybe
You know,
maybe
you
I'll look
remind
more into
me-
those.
You remind me of there was an app at one point that I was trying because especially with things like chores, this is kind of off topic but also kind of not. It's not really fitness related. But like there's an app that I downloaded, which was like, you had like a pet dragon or something, and the dragon, yeah. So it was like to keep up with your habits, so like chores, like doing the dishes, doing the laundry, just things that you did on like a daily basis that you wanted to make sure you kept doing. You would like feed your baby dragon, and you would like, it would grow, and you could like do all these different challenges or whatever. And like that kind of stuff, like maybe it's just the aspect of gamifying it, but whenever something is gamified, I feel like it's just so much more motivating and rewarding to do it. And so it's like, even with tracking, I mean, maybe that's what's next, you know, maybe next time with the Apple Watch, they got to have it so that you have like a little pet rabbit and you have to like grow it. And by working out, you grow this rabbit or something like that. I don't know. Like that kind of stuff always has, I feel like, not always, I don't want to say always, so, like most of the time has kind of a more positive impact on people compared to like something like, hey, you haven't hit your steps yet, go walk.
Yeah.
You know, like,
no, there's a time and place for both, but I think especially if you're kind of like hesitant about getting into tracking or have like had bad experiences in the past, or like the gamified aspects, which with like the goals that don't mean anything. You need goals that mean stuff to you, of course, but sometimes having those like yeah, I want to keep my little guy alive, or like I want to walk across this fictional world. Like sometimes those are just so much more fun. So
yeah, that kind of stuff is so fun. That's what, when you said the Middle Earth thing, that's what you made me think of, was that app that I had gotten for my habits. It was like how to build habits is like, you had a dragon and you would feed the dragon each time you checked off that you did that thing that you meant to do that day. So you could put in like your chores in there. Yeah, it was actually really good.
Did the dragon actually die? Because I could honestly see that being a little demotivate. Like if I couldn't do my chores for a bit, like what would happen to him?
I have no clue. I hadn't gotten that far, and then I fell off using it. But like, that's actually a great question, because I went on my trip, so I completely stopped using it.
Yeah,
I have no idea if the dragon will die, but
like
I hope it doesn't. Just kind of this idea of making it more lighthearted and making sure to emphasize positive reinforcement versus negative. And I feel like that's something that's taught, I mean, like as a parent, I mean, I know neither one of us are parents, but like you as a, like, parents are taught to give positive reinforcements. So if their kid does something good, give them chocolate. Don't beat them if they do something bad. You know, like simple stuff like that. That's like simple stuff like that, you know?
We here at Take Your Mark Pod.
So I feel like that goes a long way. It goes a long way.
Welcome to season 2.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. No, this is official, because technically this is like the first
actual episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome back to season 2. We're glad to have you. And we're glad to be back, even though the vibes are completely different and it's fully virtual, and the setup is just ridiculous. I wish I could show you this, because like this looks insane. But yeah, I mean,
I've like moved a cart over here that I'm sitting in front of.
But we make it work. We're back. This is great.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Do you want to
outro?
I'm excited as well. I realized I was going to say, do you want to take us out? And then I was like, oh wait, I should actually respond to that. I am also excited, but do you want to outro us?
Okay. Thank God. Thank God. Yeah, I can outro it.
Guys, I need a nap.
So to wrap it up, before Emmy falls asleep on this podcast, which she is sleeping right now, but
let me just.
But before she actually falls asleep on this podcast, I just want to say thank you guys for coming back. You'll expect to hear from us every other Friday, as usual. And follow us everywhere. Not in real life. Please don't follow us in real life. But follow us on Instagram at Take Your Mark Pod. Spotify, we're Take Your Mark Pod. You can find us. I believe in you. YouTube, same thing. Take Your Mark Pod. You can comment everywhere. You can like everywhere. Yeah, just do all that. And that's how you can keep up with us. What did you say?
I said do all the stuff everywhere.
Yeah, do all the stuff everywhere. What Emmy said. But besides that, I hope you enjoyed our discussion on tracking. And yeah, let us know if you want us to talk more about it. I mean, we can definitely share more about the diet tracking, or even just trying out things like sleep tracking, which is something that we both talked about wanting to try. So that's definitely something we could do. So if you would like to hear about it, please tell us. We will do that.
Let us know.
And yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye. Cue jazz.
Every time we say tracking without saying fitness tracking, I always think of like being in the woods, like hunting.
What? Okay. Let me clarify. I mean fitness tracking.
Yeah. Well, okay.